Okay, we have some supplies here on the table that I'm going to share and talk about. So let's scoot the drawing material over here a little bit, and let's just talk about the brushes. These are 1-inch flat brushes. It's got the flat edge that's there. I use those to brush on the gloss and the mediums and that. I use a chip brush, which you can get this at the hardware store. They're inexpensive brushes. I use this to make the stained tissue paper. It works the best. And then I like to have some smaller round tip brushes. As you can see, these smaller ones here, because this helps me get in and add the detail of the shadowing around the paper. So these are mainly, there's not too many brushes here. You can play with them what you like, but these are actually what I use the most, okay? So that would be the brushes. Okay, and then I like to have an X-Acto knife. I like this brand. I like it the way it feels in my hand, and then you can break off these and always have a sharp blade. A ruler, 12 inches good, or maybe 18 inches good there. Scissors, whatever you feel comfortable. You may want bigger hands, so that you can grab onto it. After a while, mine get kind of gooey, so I have to stop and kind of clean them off. As you can see, the ruler's been through quite many years of working. And then this is just kind of like you can get like a palette knife if you want. That's not on the list, but I do use it for a lot of different things, spreading glue on, smearing a little paint in and scribing into it. So those are mainly some of the things there that I use. So I'll scoot these off to the side too. Another thing that I use is these little sponge rollers. I like the thickness of the sponge, maybe even a little tighter. If they're too loose, it doesn't work as well. And this is a little sponge here that I cut up so it's small. And this is a cosmetic sponge. And these you can buy in a pack, okay? They do have this at Walmart here around by me. And it comes with a little roller that's right there. There's so many different uses that I use these little sponge rollers for. In printing and in stenciling, and to block out things and just add, a nice little hue around softened areas. I can put a little bit of color on there and I'll lighten it up. So those are my sponges and the sponge rollers that I like to use. And now I'm going to talk about the drawing materials. Now these drawing materials, because the papers, let me just get this back out here. Because these kind of papers are so shiny, that slick coating that's on there, you need to have a drawing medium that can release its pigment on that shiny surface. Not all drawing materials will do that. And I'm just showing you a few of them. Not that you have to have all of them, because if all you had was these, you'd be just fine. All you had is something like that, that would be great. And these I just picked up. Oh my gosh, I think this was in a resale shop, and I've seen them, and they're watercolor sketch pencils. So that means that, you can put it on dry, add a little bit of water to it, and you can blend it. But they're nice for drawing that fine detail line. So something like that will work. Let me just put the lid on there. These were just watercolor pencils. So I always like to show these different versions because see what you have at home first. These are wonderful Inktense. They really are brilliant colors, and they can release on the surface also. And then I haven't been using them much, but a lot of people have been exploring this new, the Pashka by UNI. They make the some of these pens like this, the gel pens, but this is like paint inside the tube that's there. So a lot of people like to bring that in, but anytime, now I'm not sure about these because that's just acrylic, but anytime that I bring in any of these drawing mediums, after I'm done, I spray it with the fixative. Because if I don't, and I bring liquid to it, and liquid I mean water, glazing, your gloss medium to the surface of it, it will bleed. It will smear. And so you don't want that to happen. So you need to find something. This is just by Krylon. It's a workable fixative, but there are other brands that are out there. You want it to make sure it protects the pencil, the pastel, and the chalk drawing and prevents the smearing and wrinkling. So that would be what I use, and see what you have. You know, like I said, one is great. You know, you don't have to have all, but it is nice to have something that will draw on the surface of the shiny, glossy papers in your collage. So we'll move on to some papers and miscellaneous things.